Thank you. Well, I want to.
On the 3rd of March 2022, lawmakers in Nigeria rejected a bill that sought to stop the children and wards of public servants from studying abroad. The sponsor of the bill, Sergio Sogun, believes the bill is crucial to rescuing Nigeria's educational system.
I mentioned in the course of the debate, when was the last time we visited our alma mater, the schools we attended, they're in a terrible state. If you are a public servant, a civil servant, you write the budget. And then the public servant, the National Assembly member or the legislator, approves the budget. The president assents to it. And if you follow these 3 layers, okay, it's still 3, because if you go back to the civil servants that will award the projects, the contracts to contractors, and they will be the one to issue certificates for the contractors to be paid. And then the public servant, the legislator, will have to go back for oversight, to ensure that the job is actually done. If all this class of people have their children schooling outside, why would they be concerned about what enters the budget and how it is utilized? If you are a civil servant, you are a lawmaker, you are a president, you are a governor or whatever, and your children are schooling here, do you think they will allow Asuu to go on strike, knowing that their children will not go to school? Will they allow the state of education, the infrastructure, the buildings to dilapidate the way they are today? They will not. It's simple. They will not allow it. But they have detached themselves from this process. It's them versus us. Them below there, whatever they get, that's it. Us, our children will go out there and get the basic education and whatever they need in life and all that. So that's the point we are trying to make by this bill. So if we are all in here as public servants and we don't have the luxury of sending our children outside, maybe we'll pay more attention. That's basically it. And I believe strongly that if that's the case today, if there's a law today that says if you are in public space, if you are serving in public space, you cannot send your children to a private school or school overseas. You must attend public schools. The state of our schools will change. And we will get there. Very soon we will get there.
He goes further to explain that if public servants have nothing to hide, they shouldn't have an issue with their source of wealth scrutinized as a requirement of sending their wards abroad to study.
In the first case, this bill is basically saying you are a public servant, and who is a public servant? The bill defined that clearly, maybe an elected person, somebody working in the civil service, somebody, the governors, president, legislators, and all that. And that for you to send your child to school overseas, you have to apply to the Minister of Education to say, this is who I am, this is where I work, and this is my write an application to say, this is my child, who wants to school in so and so place. You attach your bank account, your bank statement, then your pay slip, and then you declare your public servants have a declaration of asset form that they fill. You attach that to it, and they deposit an affidavit, and then you send it. And then you state the number of children that you already have schooling outside, or the number of children that you are applying for to go and school at once. So it's left for them to look at that form and say, okay, this is your pay slip, this is your bank balance or your bank statement, or this is the business that you do. So having gone through that, it's okay, you have enough money from what we can see to train this child, so go ahead. But if they see that you don't have enough money to train the child, they will decline it. They will write to you to say you don't qualify to send your children outside. It's simple. And this is not a difficult thing to do, if truly you are earning legitimate money. For those that said all manner of things when we discuss this bill, is because even themselves cannot prove their source of income. If you can prove it, what's so difficult? One of my colleagues said something about they were doing something before they came here. Of course. Nobody left the high school straight to the National Assembly. Nobody left the university, a fresh graduate, to the National Assembly. Most of us were doing things, either served in the state parliament or served in the local government or were commissioners or retired civil servants, you know. So you came from somewhere. Some came from the private sector. They have businesses. They only just resigned from the board. So you have assets. So if that is the case, what is so difficult in saying, these are my assets? Or I've had to sell a building that is worth 200 million to train these two children, 100 million each. This is the asset, this is how much it was sold, and this is the money in this account. Simple. So it's not a difficult thing to understand. So whatever anybody said, like I said, they're just trying to deny the fact that they are not ready to subject themselves to the scrutiny that this bill is asking for, and nothing else.